Good morning and welcome to the Integrated Water Services Monthly Town Hall and Safety Meeting. We're going to start this meeting by hearing from our Chief Executive Officer, Rick Barrett. It's all yours, Rick.
Great. Thanks, George. Good morning, everyone. I want to start off by revisiting the purpose, vision, values that we've talked about at previous meetings. So in terms of purpose, I think it's important that all of us are aware this is a purpose-driven company, that we provide benefits to society and the environment. So I'm going to read right from the slide, which I generally don't like to do, but our purpose is to protect the world's water resources while balancing sustainability with economics. It's a fancy way of saying everything that we do involves water, and we take dirty water and make it cleaner. And whether it's potable water or whether it's sanitation or sewage, essentially it comes into the infrastructure that we build and it leaves in a better condition than it entered. That's our business. In terms of our vision, this is what we aspire to become. We want to be the premier provider of specialized water and wastewater treatment solutions, bar none. I added that at the end there, but so this is what we want to become, and this is the vision for our company. Finally, core values. These are the principles and behaviors that we want to exhibit and believe in, and these should apply not only to your professional life here as an employee at Integrated Water Services, but also in your personal lives. So we're pioneering, we're purposeful, we're passionate, we're accountable, and we're respectful. So that's the purpose, vision, and core values. We've got a couple of updates here related to organizational changes that I wanted to share. I'm going to let Dawn kind of speak to the changes related to field services.
So we have had a change out in the West region with the direction the company is taking. We've let go of the regional VP there, Terry Dunlap. Friday was his last day. I did meet with the field leadership group, and we have a good path forward. So we're excited with the future prospects there.
Great, thanks, Don. In addition to that, we have several new employees that are starting. I wanted to begin with kind of one related to the estimating group here. So we've extended an offer to a new senior estimator, which will be part of the team, that's preparing kind of our cost estimates for proposals. His name's Phil Shikaki, and Phil is a Colorado resident that graduated from Bowling Green. He's got more than a decade in the industry, and he's worked for several really prominent water and wastewater treatment construction companies in the past. We think he'll be a terrific fit working with Rob and Ethan here out of the Longmont office. So he'll be joining us later, towards the end of the month. In addition to that, we have several new employees that I want to mention. Let's see, Jaden Taliz, Carrie Carpa, who started today, Justin Blackman, David Ortiz, Ron Tellez, Mark Reeves, Nathan Geminiz, Chris Bundick, Lindo Flores, Elijah Brown, and then, as we mentioned during last month's meeting, Michael Gay has taken over for Murray Holden in Texas. So I'd like to make sure you welcome these new employees. I think they'll be contributing greatly here as we go forward. So, okay, back to you, George.
Yep, thank you, Rick. Appreciate it. I'm going to push it over to the Texas region, starting with Michael Gay to kick off our regional updates. Take it away, Michael.
All right, thanks, George. So starting with safety, TRIR in the region is currently at 0.93. higher than we'd like to see it, and that's driven by the recordable that we had earlier in the year. So as we rack up more months, as we did in March and April without a recordable, we'll see that TRIR continue to drop. It's been 72 days since the last recordable. Going to project closeout, we are wrapping up quite a few projects in the region. 42nd Street in Odessa coming up to an end here. We have a little bit of issues with some fusion material that remained in the pipe that is clogging our pumps, or disrupting the pumps rather. So we're working to resolve that with the owner. Not our fault, but as of this point, punch list nearly complete. Carriage House, similar situation. We're in the final stages of punch list cleanup, and then of course Northgate, which ran through commissioning and startup last week. So those are positive. We'll be happy to get them behind us and focus our eyes on completing the other projects within the portfolio, and then of course moving on to bids, winning a couple of new additional ones. So in the month of April here in early May, we submitted a bid for the City of Fate, came in at about 23 million. We weren't the low bidder here. But it is a new region that we're targeting. This would have been just outside of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So it's exciting that we're now seeking to win opportunities in that locale. We did also bid on Salado phases 2 and 3. We came in at 6.9 million. I think we're getting some positive initial feedback. So hopefully this is a blue box opportunity. So it would be a big one for us. Probably 3 blue boxes between both phases. So we should hear something hopefully here within the month. And then projects that we're currently looking at, we have the Shenandoah improvements. So Houston is another region that we're seeking to expand to within Texas. This is on the north side between Houston and Conroe, if I'm not mistaken. So we had the pre-bid last week. Chris Budnick attended, very positive interactions with the plant manager. Looks like it could be a very promising opportunity for us. So we're going to sharpen our pencils on this one. And then we have some other blue box opportunities at Kenwood and Meyer Ranch that we are actively pursuing and are on the radar. So we'll have some good news, at least in terms of bids submitted, and hopefully some wins by the end of the month.
Great update, Michael. Appreciate it. Moving on to the Rocky Mountain region with Christian Baumgart.
For safety, our TRIR is at 0. Colorado, we have been now at about 885 days without any recordables. And then in New Mexico, 470 days without any recordables. So safety is moving in the right direction. We still need to work a little bit more on our JHAs and making sure that those get submitted on a daily basis, and spend time with a team going over the task for the days, because that's one of the most critical components of our daily operations, to make sure everybody goes home safe at the end of the day. For project closeout, we're still finalizing the Santa Fe project, Belen and San Brain. We still got Bloomfield out there as well, but that one is on hold at the moment. So our main focus is those 3 jobs, so that we can wrap them up and move up into newer projects. For bids submitted, I got the Lions Flow Prevention. That was a smaller job that we bid last week. We were not the low bidder. We bid that job, even though it was small. We bid it because it was a quick start to fit some of our crews coming available. We also have an interview this Wednesday for the Kremling CMAR. That's a $12 million job, and it's just down to us and another contractor. So a few of us are going to go up to this meeting, meet with the board, and see if we can bring that job home. Even though we haven't submitted these jobs recently, we signed a contract last week for the Sky Ranch project. So that's a job that will start here hopefully in the next month. And then we also are finalizing the contract for the rail park job, and that would be hopefully, it would be our first blue box job here in Colorado. So we're pretty excited about that one. And then for projects bidding, I'm keeping this Louisville CMAR there. It's a nice job in Louisville. Timing, it's a little bit of a constraint, so we're working to see if we can make it work. And if not, then we'll be looking at a few other jobs that are in the pipeline to make sure that we keep bidding, and so that we have a good backlog moving into the rest of the year, and then a good backlog mainly moving into 2024. So that's it for the Rocky Mountains.
Great update, Christian. Thank you. We'll move out to the Western region with Don Harding.
Thanks, George. So out west, safety update, our TRIR is 0. Our JHAs and weekly toolbox meetings are on track. And George, I just want to make sure the days without a recordable are correct in the weekly summary.
Yeah, it's correct.
They have an outstanding record out there. It's 19 years without a recordable in the West.
Yeah, since date of inception.
So good job. Keep it up, guys. That's awesome. As far as project closeout, we have about a week left at the Heritage House. That's going to take place. We have week testing there to wrap it up, get carpentry there. And then we also have weeks left on the O'Connor job. Find license to work, rent the PG&E shut down, and then we need to disinfect the line and be finished with those few jobs. Bid submitted. We submitted a bid for applied membranes at a Coronado job in California for the Navy. That we've heard that may be pushed out a couple months for award, so we're checking with them periodically. And then in reviewing our potential bid list with Jay and Dale, we're going to pursue this Ukiah recycled water phase 4 project in Northern California that goes in around the middle of June. So that's wraps it up for the West.
All right. Thanks, Don. Appreciate it. We'll move on to technical services with Todd. Go ahead, Todd.
Thanks, George. Tech services, currently we are pursuing work in several regions. Our current engineering book is looking to be about 2.4 million on the year. Those always lead into expanded projects, either retrofit or greenfield new construction. Projects coming out of design work this year will be an estimated right around 30 to 35 million total. Some of those projects will be 2023. Some of those projects will be 2024 projects. We're currently supporting the Blue Box product and versions thereof, MPOD, Impact, on a lot of those applications. Current states we're working in is Michigan, New York, Texas, Colorado, and California. Hot ticket projects we have right now is we're trying to finalize the contract on Rocky Mountain Rail Park. Saletto's looking fairly promising right now on feedback. And then I had a follow-up meeting on Friday on Tejon Hard Rock out in California. They're shortening up the timeline on that. It was originally 18 months and they're trying to compress that down to 12 months total construction time to be online. So it looks like Tejon Hard Rock's going to heat up out there for us. We're pushing for market expansions right now. End of this month, we're going to go out to Florida and meet with some people out there, take a look at some of the possibilities of doing some work out there as well. So things are looking pretty good for tech services so far. Thanks, George.
Fantastic. Thank you, Todd, for that update. Thank you, everybody, for your regional updates. The safety focus for the month of May is discipline number 2 of our 3 disciplines of safety execution. That's our leading measures. We all know that the safety goal of our company is to perform our work with 0 harm and 0 injuries, right? That's a given. We've also talked in the past about the 4 key leading measures that are certain to get us 95% of the way to our goal while only consuming 5% of our time. When incidents do occur that require root cause analysis investigations, 95% of the time, the cause will point towards the failure of one of these leading measures. Either somebody was poorly trained or wasn't trained at all, there's not a good plan that identified and mitigated the hazards, or somebody knew something that was wrong and failed to speak up. It is so important to remember that if we do a really good job at accomplishing these leading measures, we will meet our goal of 0. To consistently help drive this effort to the finish line, I'd like to introduce our Safety Steward program. Over the next month, I'll work with the project superintendents to identify one worker on each crew that will serve as the safety steward for that project. The safety steward will monitor the online training matrix and encourage teammates to complete their assigned safety training in a timely manner. They'll ensure that an emergency action plan is completed at the onset of every project and that plan is posted where workers can get their eyes on it. We're going to talk a little bit more about the EAPs here shortly. The safety stewards will make sure a JHA is completed every day at the start of the day and when a highly hazardous task is performed, such as the permit required activities. They'll conduct project self-safety assessment once a quarter, and they'll make sure good catches are documented in the Safety Support Center. Each of these 4 responsibilities will be monitored, measured, and translated to the safety scorecard and the corporate scorecard. The safety steward will earn an extra 25 cents an hour for each responsibility managed successfully on a weekly basis. This means that if the 4 leading measures are successfully completed, the safety steward will earn an extra $1 per hour for every hour worked. Okay, taking a look at these tools, where the tools are for these leading measures and where can we find them? By now, you all should know that the training module, our safety orientation, the JHA and good catch forms, they're all located over at the online support center. So I want to take a minute and introduce you to the emergency action plan that I just mentioned. The emergency action plan will be completed by the safety steward at the onset of each project and will be housed on the job site where workers can see it. It will also be made available at the online support center, and it will be filed in the Procore job folder. To complete the plan, the safety steward will go to the Safety Support Center, click on the Emergencies tab, and then click on the Emergency Action Planner. Okay, they'll fill out this simple form and submit this completed form. As with any form on the Support Center, you will always want to wait for the autoresponder window to appear. This is where you can go back into the form using the Edit Submission link, or you can download a copy of the now completed EAP through this download link here. But don't worry if you close that window because a copy of the EAP has been emailed to the email address you noted in the form. You can also edit and download the form from your email. Okay, at this point, the safety department will load your EAP into the EAP library and include it in the EAP viewer in the online portal. This process will ensure everybody will always have access to the emergency action plan all the time, regardless of the circumstances. It also makes the EAP and pertinent project information available to emergency responders so they can get to the site and help if that's needed. This process will be covered with the safety stewards as they are selected here in the coming days. Now to move on to my favorite part of the meeting. As promised in the safety orientation and annual safety awareness training module, I am proud to announce the Good Catch Award for April. We had 2 really good catches submitted in April, and they were both very good interventions. The first one was at the city of Belen, where Kelly Sinclair arrived up on a site to notice nobody was wearing their required PPE. He called a meeting and informed all workers that the PPE is required at all times in the work area. The crew agreed, they fell in line with this expectation, and a follow-up visit by Wayne made sure that all the workers were in compliance, and they were in compliance. The second good catch was on the O'Connor project by Nathan Mood. In order to do electrical testing, the electricians hooked up a generator to the distribution panel. They were about to have this open panel with energized buzzing exposed where people could possibly get into it when this was recognized and they stopped the job. I say caution tape here, but it was danger tape was used to block off the area before they energized that panel. This process created a danger zone with the implementation of this danger tape. These are both really good catches, both called by supervisors, and it's a really good example that the minimum expectations set by frontline supervisors will always be the maximum participation by the workers. We want to put our expectations out where they're known, and I promise you the workers will meet them. All right. So when we're looking at this good catch, y'all might look over here in the risk rank column and you might ask yourself, what is this risk rank? I've never seen this before, right? The company has developed this risk ranking matrix that will be used for safety assessments, incidents, and other hazard risk ranking purposes. To get your eyes on the matrix, go to the support center and click on the assessment tab. In this page, you will find the soon-to-be added safety assessment forms, as well as the risk ranking matrix. The risk rank matrix is a tool we'll use to assign risk hazard correction priorities during the assessment process. It will also be used to assign risk severity to incidents that have occurred, as well as the application of risk potentials to known or assumed hazards. We will also very soon see the risk rank matrix used to determine a point value system to the Good Catch Awards program. It is important to know that this presentation, as well as past presentations, are available at the Support Center in the Presentations tab. Please go there, look them over. If you need to refresh on the information shared, please do so. And I want to thank everybody for joining us for the Integrated Water Services May Town Hall and Safety Meeting. Let's go out there, everybody, and let's make it another great month. Good job, everybody.
Thanks, George. I'm going to I want to add just a couple comments here to the presentation. One is I wanted to emphasize the importance of these leading activities that George highlighted in his comments. And it really isn't good enough for us to simply track incidents that have occurred. We really need to be thinking about what are those activities that will prevent the incidents from happening in the first place. And that's really this training, having a plan, identifying hazards, and the authority to stop things if it doesn't look right. So everybody here that works for IWS, as well as Hyperion and MMBR, are empowered to stop work if there's something that doesn't seem right. And that's really a responsibility that we all have to take personally. So this isn't all just about us looking out for ourselves. This is really about looking out for one another. The other thing I wanted to mention here briefly is the Safety Steward program. This is really about us using our resources most effectively. So we have individuals that are employed by us that really have a passion for safety and care about safety programs. And what we're asking for is to identify those individuals on your crew that would be a good candidate for this role. In exchange for that, they'll make a little bit more money and they'll be able to benefit from knowing that they're helping their teammates. So this is a terrific initiative, expecting that everyone will be involved with this or engaged with this. And I'm looking forward to kind of seeing how this develops here over the next several weeks. Finally, I want to thank this group for the work you're doing. We continue to perform really well, and we're right on plan year to date. We're doing well when it comes to safety, we're doing well when it comes to quality, and we're doing well when it comes to efficiency. The future's bright. We've got a lot of opportunity on the horizon. As I mentioned during the previous meetings, there are lofty growth goals here, and this growth potential of this business is going to result in a lot of opportunities for our employees. So I just wanted to share that. Anyways, that I think about wraps it up, unless there's any questions or any concerns that anyone wants to mention. Okay, great. Have a good afternoon, guys, or a good day, and keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.